quick and not necessarily.
Do you want to talk about Cyber Shadow?
Oh yeah, I've got that down the road. You want me to talk about it now? Let me talk about it now. I'll talk about Cyber Shadow now.
We're just talking about games we played.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I just put it lower in my notes, so I didn't think about it. Yeah. So here's the thing about I've got like some stuff written up, so I'm going to kind of read what I have here, and then we can expand on it if you have any questions. So for those who don't know, Cyber Shadow is an 8-bit platformer. It's developed by Mechanical Head Studios, which I think is the first game that they've done. It was a one-person studio thing, development thing. This guy, I think it started, listen to this podcast or this interview with him, and he had indicated that it just started off with, like, he just did one pixel art thing, right? He just drew this pixel art thing of this guy in, like, some sort of, like, tank. What do they call those things where you don't feel anything? It's a something tank. Man, it doesn't matter.
Like a sensory deprivation.
Yeah. It's like he's in one of these, but it's like some cyborg or something. And like people are like, "Oh, this is amazing!" And someone's like, "Yeah, you should do some more of these. You should make it a game." And he started like learning how to code and stuff. And long story short, I think he's been making this game for years. And Yacht Club picked it up, so it's published by Yacht Club Games. And for those old enough to remember, this game feels like how it felt like to play the game Ninja Gaiden, or Ninja Gaiden, however you want to pronounce it, on the NES. And there are some striking similarities between this and that, but the game does take advantage of secrets that pay homage to its predecessors. So like there's like this isn't even really a spoiler, but you find like a secret thing. You know, like the original Mario game, you could get on top of the screen, on top of the TV, almost like above the level, and walk and find like secrets. Like this game has shit like that you can find. There's tons of stuff I'm sure I haven't found. So it has stuff like that. It shows the old TMNT Ninja Turtles game. It has like their little sewer area where it has like pizza and like their skateboard and stuff. Like you find little shit like that in this game, which is like really cool. And then the bosses almost strikingly kind of look. Some of the enemies are very Mega Man like, and the bullets that come at you from the enemies are very Mega Man like. The platforming is very Mega Man like. It's a little better in my opinion than Mega Man, as far as, I don't want to say the tightness, but like the double jump. When you get the double jump, it's fantastic. I don't think you can double jump in Mega Man. But the goal is to rescue your fallen cybernetic ninja clan. So I purchased this game thinking it was going to be like a 6-hour game experience, and boy, was I wrong. I put 11 hours and 49 minutes into this game, and after you beat it, it gives you like short and simple data like about your gameplay. So it gave me that time, and then it said I only collected 63% of the items. I don't even know what the items would be. Maybe I think you can collect things to increase your health meter. You find these secret orbs and fight mini bosses, and when you beat them, you get like this other orb, and you jump up and you get it. And you can expand your health meter, which is really cool, or expand like your special meter, which you can pick up shards along the way to replenish your special meter, which lets you throw like Chinese shurikens or Chinese stars, whatever you want to call them, and do other things. But I died 547 times in this game.
Nice.
Yeah, 547 deaths. So this game is not for the meek. But there are 10 stages. It does a really good job making you feel confident, though. So the first level is a hold your hand tiny bit. And to be honest, right up until level 9 started, like stage 9, I was thinking, like, I'm going to do a video for this, put on our channel. But I was thinking, man, I'm going to say that, like, the difficulty for this game is perfect. Like, I probably had died, like, 400 times up to that point. But the difficulty felt fine. Level 9 and 10, absolute bloodbath. It is, like, almost, I don't want to say it's almost impossible, but it's like controller rage throw, rage quit stuff, level 9 and 10. And it's funny because there's no difficulty setting in this game, so you can't make it easier, And it's true to the game's predecessors. The games came before, they were always like that. Ninja Gaiden, TMNT, Mega Man, there were never difficulty settings. But in that same interview I was talking about earlier, it was indicated that he was talking like, the difficulty really is decided by the player. So if you want to go really fast through the level, it's harder. And if you want to go really slow, it's easier. It's like, well, no shit. Like, that's how every game works, right? Every platformer works that way. But they were asking him about that. But some people on YouTube have done 1.5 hour speed runs and not died once. And I don't even know how you can do that if I died like 550 times. But the bosses are fantastic, man. They're all super different from one another. And at first, they seem like really hard. Like these bosses, like the first boss you get up to, you're like, oh my god, this guy's impossible. And then like you go back in, and there's always a save point like right before the boss, so you don't have to like go through a ton of shit to get to them. The mini bosses are a little different, but you know, you go in, you die probably right away, or you get a couple shots in, you die. You go back, and then you die again. You go back, and you're like, okay, I see how he's attacking me. I can kind of dodge this. But then they'll throw out like some random attack you haven't seen yet, and then kill you. And then you're like, okay, I get it. And then by the end of it, like, you're really competent at the boss. So the game, it's fun to learn them. They're like the old school bosses, like in Mega Man. They have their patterns. Like they don't really operate outside of a pattern. They just have these patterns that you just have to learn. And it's really, really fun to learn the bosses. I had a good time fighting the bosses. They're all great. But you start seeing their vulnerabilities as you play them. And the save system in the game is actually really, really creative. So there are kiosks, right? So you collect these shards. This game's so quick, so good. You collect these shards, and the shards act as points. So you kill an enemy, you get a shard. You hit some you break some walls like you would in Castlevania, and you find hearts or shards. The shards accumulate as you play the game. Even when you die, you keep what you collected. And this is how they curb the difficulty. So every save point also doubles as a kiosk, but you can't pick out of all of the options. It says usually you can like choose like a replenish thing, which will replenish all your health. So when you respawn and you get hit maybe a couple times, you can walk back and replenish your health. You can purchase that, and this is like 50 coins or shards or whatever. And then you can pick usually like one kind of passive thing. Sometimes you have weapons that'll just circle around your character, but if you get hit 3 times, they disappear, and then you lose them until the next whatever. And then you can usually pick like some sort of active thing, like a shuriken or whatever you want loaded. Not a shuriken, those are always there, but there's usually 3 options. So what's great about this, it's not Metroidvania, but in case you do get lost, every single kiosk you step on has a little flashing arrow directing you so you know which way you need to walk. And like that little note, like token is so nice. If you put the game down and you revisit it, because you could go left, you know what I mean? You could go the opposite way that it's telling you to go if you didn't remember where you came from, and go through tons of shit you don't need to. So every time you hit one of these kiosks, it gives you like a little pointer, and it says you need to go like that way. And like that little thing is so nice, because I don't know how many games I've played where you just start up an old save and you're just like, I don't even know what I was doing, where I need to go. And with this being a platformer, you just go in the direction, you get to the next one, and you get to the next one. It's really good. But so there's like 10 different specials in this game. The save system is cool. Like I said, it automatically saves though. So like when you hit the save location, it doesn't like say select your file. It just saves it. So you don't have to worry about saving. It just saves on the current save game, which is fantastic. And it does give you the option. A lot of these kiosks are next to like another thing that pulls you out, kind of like in like a Mario game, like where you can select the level. So all the stages they're individual stages, but they're all tied together with like a line on the map. So you can go back and replay other levels. And I think once you get all these skills unlocked, you can find new areas in the former levels that you didn't have the skills to access. So it's a little Metroidvania like that, but it's not required. It's probably just to beat mini bosses and stuff. But so there's 10 different specials. Some of my favorites include there's like an axe that's like tethered to your character. So like imagine like being in like a Castlevania game where you just lob the axes up and they shoot down, they fall down the enemies. Imagine just as you walk around, you have this like swinging mechanical axe that just orbits your guy, but it like it'll go out further and it ropes back in like a slingshot. So in those games with the platformer, your momentum shifts and that'll fling the thing way out in front of you to hit enemies. And like you could drop and it's above you. When you hit the platform, it goes down and cuts through the platform and hits enemies below you. So you have this awesome tethered weapon to your character. I've never seen this in a platformer like this before. It was a really cool weapon. And they also had this thing that was like I don't know what it was called, but there's one little like orb that I think is like mechanical or something. And it just circles your guy really slow. And like if a bullet's coming in, it'll be like, and it'll absorb the bullet. And it's such a cool little thing. But like there's so many bullets that you can only rely on it to like, you know, take one for you. And it doesn't lose damage when that happens. The only way you lose these specials is if you get hit 3 times. So you could feasibly get it at the beginning of the save point, use it, and usually they only give you specials that are going to be really effective between the two save points. So you unlock the special here with the shards. The developer knows this one's going to help them. So if you want to purchase the money, make it a little easier, or purchase the thing through shards, you can, or you can save them and hope you get to the next one. And it's a really cool thing. And every time you die, like I said, it keeps those shards, so you can keep doing that. So the game's great. Bottom line, if you're up for a challenge, I think I put my DualSense through the ringer, though. I only play these games on the D-pad, so my thumb is really sore right now. Like, because those aren't nice on your thumb. You can't play these games with an analog stick. Or maybe you can, but you probably just shouldn't. The D-pad was used more for playing this game than I think I'll ever use it in any other game, and I used it so much. I think either the D-pad on the DualSense could be more sensitive, or my thumb was just so raw I thought I was pushing buttons when I wasn't, or it's sensitive and I was doing it right, but Cyber Shadow wasn't interpreting all the little things I was doing, because there were moments like you have to hit forward twice to like dash, right? So like I'll get to this part and I died so many times. You have to you unlock this move where you hit forward twice and then you hit attack, and he does this like teleport dash thing. I don't know how many fucking times I hit forward and slash, and he just ran right into an enemy. Or like he didn't run, and I just swung the sword, right? Because I didn't dash. And I was like, is it the D-pad? Is it me? Is it the game? I don't know. But it's a very integral maneuver towards the end of this game, doing this forward slash thing. I beat the game, and then I found out later that you can actually remap. Someone said you can remap the dash maneuver altogether to like the R1 trigger, so he just dashes right then. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that might... Maybe they knew it wasn't like registering right or something. But, dude, I had a blast with this game. So I don't know if it was the coding of the game or not, but the controls are very tight. Don't let that mystere you guys. The controls are so tight in this game. And it's so good. The music's outstanding. The artwork's great. The story's a little lackluster. But, I mean, you can't really expect much. It's an 8-bit side-scrolling game. Platformer, so it rules. It's a great game. It's addicting. It's satisfying to make progress through it, and it's like 300 megabytes, so it's a fast download. So, dude, this game's awesome.
It looks... I mean, I've watched some stuff about it.
It's so good.
You're talking about how people could speedrun it. I bet if someone is so good that they can speedrun a game like Ninja Gaiden, they could probably pick this up pretty easy.
Yeah.
You know, easy is a relative term, right? For them, it probably is, you know, maybe a little bit of a challenge because it's a new experience, but they're going to be blasting through it way easier than we are, being that, you know, but because if you just look at a cursory glance at the gameplay, it looks exactly like Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah,
like
the character,
like even just the character, even the way that they traverse and jump and flip and all that kind of stuff. But it does look great. Yeah, I didn't end up picking it up. We'll probably play it eventually.